Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee once again with SEC 210. Today I'm going to be going over lab 17.2.7, which is reading server logs. Alright, there are 6 questions to answer throughout the lab, all noted with the word answer in red text. This is only 6-page lab, and most of it is screenshots of looks like output from like cat and things like that, so it's not a very long lab. Alright. So log files are an important tool for troubleshooting and monitoring. Different application generates different log files, each one containing its own set of fields and information. While the field structure may change between log files, the tools used to read them is mostly the same. In this lab, you will learn about common tools used to read log file and practice using them. Alright, so we're using our CBROPS workstation, which I have that running in VMware workstation. Alright, so first thing is reading log files with cat, more, less, and tail. Log files are used to record specific events triggered by application, services, or the operating system itself. Usually stored as plain text, log files are an indispensable source for troubleshooting. Opening log files. Log files commonly contain plain text information which can be viewed by practically any program able to handle text. Text editors, for example. However, because of convenience, usability, and speed, a few tools are more commonly used than others. This section focuses on 4 command line based programs: cat, more, less, and tail. Cat, derived from the word concatenate, is a Unix command line based tool used to read and display the contents of a file on the screen. Because of its simplicity, and it can open a text file and display it in a text only terminal, cat is widely used to this day. Alright, so start CBROPS workstation VM, which I already have running. From the terminal window, issue the command below to display the contents of log-tutorial.log located in that directory, lab.support.files. Alright, so I'm going to click on terminal, this thing full screen. Okay, so I wanted to go to cat, and then my directory I want, analysis lab, support files, log-tutorial.log. Alright, so there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Alright, the contents of the file should scroll through the terminal window until all the contents have been displayed. Alright, so there is a whole bunch of logs. And matter of fact, a lot of real logs that will have even more logs than this. Alright, so what is the drawback of using cat with large text files? Well, obviously it's hard to go through every last log entry. But in this, you can kind of like tell this is from a probably a web server, because you have IP address, you have a date timestamp, you have a get request. Somebody wants to go to this specific website. In this case, a PNG file. All right, it actually shows that they were on a Mac, things like that, and using a Chrome browser, Safari. All right. So another popular tool for visualizing log files is more. Similar to cat, more is also a Unix command line based tool that can open a text-based file and display the contents on the screen. The main difference between cat and more is that more supports page breaks, allowing the user to view the contents of a file one page at a time. This can be done using the spacebar to display the next page. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Control-C to get to my terminal, but I'm going to do a clear command just to clear that screen, because it's hard to differentiate where I'm starting at. Alright, so from the same terminal window, use the command below to display the contents of the log-tutorial.log file again, this time using more. Now let's see if it'll let me copy. It won't let me paste it. Let me check one thing real quick. VMware Tools is running. Alright, so more, and then home, analyst, lab, support files, logs, stash. Alright, notice here's one page. Then if I page down, the contents of the file should scroll through the terminal window and stop when one page is displayed. Press the spacebar to advance to the next page. Press enter to display the next line of text. So I can hit enter, go line by line, or tab spacebar, goes through page by page. Alright, what is the drawback of using more? Obviously, a lot of the same issues with cat. Alright. So building on the functionality of cat and more, the less tool allows the contents of a file to be displayed page by page, while also allowing the user to the choice of viewing previously displayed pages. From the same terminal window, and I'm going to once again do Control-C to get the command line, type clear. And what I can do also to save time, if I do an up arrow from a history, I can go back and just take out more and type in less. Alright. Use less to display the contents of the log file again. The contents of the file should scroll through the terminal window and stop when one page is displayed. Press the spacebar to advance to the next page. Press enter to display the next line of text. Use the up and down arrow keys to move back and forth through the text file. So now I can do tab, or I'm sorry, not tab, spacebar, go page down, and I can use enter to go line by line. I can also use the up arrow to move up, and then the down arrow to move down. Alright, press the Q to quit. To exit the less tool, the tail command displays the end of the text file. By default, tail displays the last 10 lines of the file. To use tail to display the last 10 lines of the file we're using, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the up arrow and then just take out less and replace that with tail. Alright, so by default it shows the last 10 entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 entries. Right? So that's a lot more manageable right there. Alright. Actively following logs. In some situations, it is desirable to monitor log files as log entries are written to the log files. For those cases, the tail F command is very useful. Use tail F to actively monitor the contents of the var log syslog file. Okay, so I want to do sudo tail F and then home and list support files log CBROPS. Alright, so that's actively monitoring the if you notice one thing, see how I'm not going to I'm not getting a terminal line. It's just sitting there waiting for more entries. I'm going to open up a browser just to see. I don't think this thing has internet access. Let's see. But anyways, that's how you tell. I don't want to play with that too much. So I'm gonna get through this lab. All right. So the difference between tail and tail F, as you can see, is sitting there waiting for entries, and it's updating as you have more new entries coming in through the web server. You know what that might be? Let's see. Let me go to 27.0.0.1. Nope. All right. Open a set in terminal window. All right, this shows us how to actually make it work. Arrange your display so you can see both terminal windows. You can see my terminal window on the back side that's monitoring. All right. All right, so I'm going to go here. All right, that's where my entry stopped, and this is where my new entries are going to be coming in. And I'm going to do just like this. So the terminal window behind, on the back, behind this active terminal window is going to get new entries. All right, so let's do, select the bottom terminal window. All right, so let's do echo. This is a entry to the monitor log file. You notice we're actually sending that to that log in the log file. That's files. And actually, that might be wrong. Depends. This is an entry message to the home analyst. Okay, let's see if this thing works. Yeah, I didn't think that'd work. We have to do log.support files. That was I typed it incorrectly. Log stash. All right, here we go. All right, notice the new entry right there. This is the new entry to the monitor log file. All right. So this command above pins. This is a new entry to the monitor log file message to the .log file because tail-f is monitoring the file at the moment a line is added to the file. The top window should display the new line in real time. So we saw that. I could do it again if I wanted to. Notice how it enters it again. Close one of the two terminal windows. Close that one. Alright, so log files and syslog. Because of their importance, it is common practice to concentrate log files into one monitoring computer. Syslog is a system designed to allow devices to send their log files to a centralized server, known as a syslog server. Clients communicate to a syslog server using the syslog protocol. Syslog is commonly deployed and supports practically all computer programs, platforms. Okay, the SysOps workstation VM generates operating system level log files and hands them to the syslog, over to syslog. Use the cat command as root. You notice the sudo running as root to list the contents of the var.log syslog.1 file. This file holds the log entries that are generated by the SysOps workstation VM operating system and sent to the syslog service. Alright, so I'm going to do control C to break out of that. I'm going to do clear. I'm going to do sudo cat var log syslog.1 CBROPS. Alright, so there's my syslog entries. Why did the cat command have to be executed as root? You guys should be able to answer that, but why would it not let me view that file unless I entered it as root? And it's a permissions related question. I'll let you guys answer that. Alright, notice that the var.log syslog file only stores the most recent log entries. To keep the syslog file small, the operating system periodically rotates the log files, renaming older log files as syslog1, syslog2, etc. Use the cat command to list the older log file syslog files. So sudo cat var.log syslog. Now if I do oops, I want to do var.log. Alright, there's all my log files. So syslog, notice I have a syslog 1, 2, 3, 4, syslog.log 1, 2, 3, 4, user logs, all sorts of good things. Alright, so if I do a sudo cat, and to answer the question above, in case you guys have questions, let's list let's do L. Actually, let's do a list. Is it AL? Please. Alright, there we go. If you're looking at that, that should tell you why you're not allowed to view those files unless you're logging in with the super user or your root user. Alright, but anyways, clear this again. Alright, so let's do sudo cat var.log syslog2. Alright, notice those system logs. Those are from March. Let's do up arrow, do 3. Those are from the beginning of March. 4, November. Alright, can you think of a reason why it is so important to keep the time and date of computers correctly synchronized? Well, obviously to know when a certain thing occurred. Alright, so part 3, and I'm going to clear this screen while I'm thinking about it. Alright, log files and journal control. Another popular log management system is known as Journal. Managed by the journal daemon, the system is designed to centralize the management of logs regardless of where the messages are originating. In the context of this lab, the most evident feature of the journal system daemon is the use of append-only binary files serving as its log files. Alright, running journal control with no options. To look at the journal logs, use the journal control command. The journal control tool interprets and displays log entries previously stored in the journal binary log files. Alright, so if I do journal control, alright, and notice it says note running journal control as root will display more detailed information. So you can look through there. See how we had some issues, some errors. Let's do Control C to break out of that. All right, journal control in a few options. Part of the power of using journal control lies in its options. For the following commands, use Control C to exit display. All right, so I'm going to do a clear. All right, journal control UTC to display all timestamps in UTC time. All right, use journal control B to display log entries controlled during entries recorded during the last boot. So do Control C to break out of it. All right, let's do. Now I need to put a sudo in the beginning of that, but that's from the last boot. And it actually tells me the log begins on Tuesday, right there, ends at 10/13/2020. All right, use journal control to specify the service and time frame for log entries. The command below shows all Nginx service logs recorded today. All right, so I'm going to do Control C and clear, whoops, clear all that stuff. All right, sudo journal control Nginx service since today. All right. Log begins on Tuesday in 2018, ends today. No entries. All right. So journal control. Use the case switch to display only messages generated by the kernel. That's okay. Those are all kernel messages. All right. Control C. Let's do a clear also. All right, let's do a journal control F. All right, similar to tel-f, use the F switch to actively follow the logs as they are being written. All right, so notice how it doesn't give you a terminal line. It just sits here waiting for the next entry. All right, so compare syslog and journal D. What are the advantages and disadvantages of each? All right, so journal D is the daemon running, recording all the entries, and then up here the syslog is actually looking at syslog messages. So I'll let you guys answer that. But there are advantages and disadvantages of each. Just list a couple of those and you should be good. All right, and that's it. Pretty quick lab, but yeah, this is really good stuff to know. More and more as we get into it, you're going to be using Linux more and more, so it's good to understand it. All right, so for this lab, answer the 6 questions. Put your answers in blue text so it's easier for me to grade. And that's it. Thanks for watching.